Next, we are going to discuss one of the important topics that's on endocrine surgery. It includes Men's syndrome, hyperparathyroidism, Cushing syndrome, Phaeochromocytoma, all important surgical aspects we are going to discuss. Because this topic will be also discussed in medicine. So, let me discuss surgical aspects. So, endocrine surgery, the first important topic is on Men's syndrome. So, multiple endocrine neoplasia. So, it's a group of syndrome having multiple tumors, endocrine tumors. Neuroendocrine tumors are seen in multiple places of your body, is compiled together called as Men's syndromes. So, there are Men 1, Men 2A, Men 2B. These are the three commonly asked MCQ. Men 1 syndrome is called as Wermer syndrome. It is due to menin protein mutation. Please don't forget, it is menin protein mutation. Truncated menin protein mutation is called as Men 1. It is autosomal dominant. Male and female are equally affected, and it is very common in the age group of less than 5 years. So, it can start from the age of 5 years, you can see starting Men 1 syndrome. So, Men 1 syndrome is equal in male and female. It affects three important endocrine glands. So, I want you to know there are three glands which are affected by this Men 1 syndrome. What are the three glands? So, don't forget, parathyroid gland is the first important gland affected in this, pancreas and pituitary. 3P, remember as 3P. So, in parathyroid, there is hyperparathyroidism. Please remember, there is hyperparathyroidism in parathyroid gland. In pancreas, there is gastrinoma. In pituitary, there is prolactinoma. So, all these are neuroendocrine tumors. Hyperparathyroidism is a neuroendocrine tumor related topic. Gastrinoma is a neuroendocrine lesion, and prolactinoma is a neuroendocrine tumor of pituitary. So, what is the clinical feature? So, 90% of the patients comes to us with the hyperparathyroidism, primary hyperparathyroidism, and it is a multiglandular disease. You know, there are 4 parathyroid glands. It is usually involves 2 or more glands. So, it's multiglandular disease. There is hyperplasia. There is more of hyperplasia. And the second common lesion is pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor. So, in this, gastrinoma is the most common neuroendocrine tumor. And all of you remember, we would have discussed gastrinoma in pancreas chapter, as it's seen most commonly in Passaro triangle. So, when you come to a gastrinoma arising from this pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor, it is commonly located in a duodenum followed by pancreas. So, we would have, remember at this point, remember the triangle we have discussed in pancreas chapter called as Passaro triangle. Is a triangle where the gastrinomas are common. If Passaro triangle is there in the choice, go with that. Or else go with the duodenum, then followed by pancreas. Don't forget, gastrinomas in Men 1 syndrome are common in duodenum. And we have prolactinomas, and the another tumor is carcinoids. Carcinoids can be seen in thymus and in bronchus. So, the most common cause of death in a Men 1 syndrome is due to gastrinoma. So, pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor, gastrinoma is the commonest cause of death in Men 1 syndrome. So, please don't forget this basic point. So, hyperparathyroidism in Men 1. So, most common manifestation in Men 1 is hyperparathyroidism. It is due to multi-gland disease. It is common in 10 to 20 years, and enlargement is asymmetrical. See, all glands are not symmetrically enlarged. They will be asymmetrically enlarged as shown in the picture. So, therefore, in a case of hyperparathyroidism in Men 1 syndrome, all 4 glands should be removed. Please don't forget, all 4 glands are removed, because all the glands will have hyperplasia, and all of them will produce more of parathyroid hormone, and increased calcium will be there. So, all 4 glands are removed in Men 1 syndrome. And don't forget, Men 1 syndrome, the commonest cause of death is gastrinoma, and carcinoid is also seen in Men 1 syndrome. So, Men 1 syndrome, parathyroid problem, pancreas problem, pituitary problem. 3 problems are seen in Men 1 syndrome. So, now coming to Men 2 syndrome. Men 2, remember, Men 2 is due to red oncogene mutation. So, it's mainly because of red oncogene mutation. So, red oncogene mutation, we have already discussed about red oncogene mutation. I hope you remember, we have discussed in loss of function mutation in Hirschsprung disease. In Hirschsprung disease, there is a failure of migration of neural crest. There is a failure of migration of neural crest. Please go back to Hirschsprung disease, and you see, we would have mentioned this point there. It is also an autosomal dominant disorder. It is hallmark in this condition is a C-cell hyperplasia, and medullary cancer is 100%. So MEN2 means medullary cancer is always seen. Don't forget, MEN2 syndrome will always have a medullary cancer, and gain of function mutation is called as MEN2 syndrome. Loss of function mutation is seen in Hirschsprung disease. So MEN2A and MEN2B. MEN2A is called as Sippel syndrome. MEN2B is also called as MEN3 syndrome by some surgeons. Is also called as MEN3 syndrome. In both the case, medullary cancer is the commonest. Medullary cancer is 100% in both the MEN2A and MEN2B. Medullary cancer is 100%. And what is the second common cancer? It's a repeat MCQ. What is the second common tumor in MEN2A and MEN2B? Second common tumor is Phaeochromocytoma. In both the cases, the second common tumor is 40%. It is Phaeochromocytoma. It's an adrenal neuroendocrine tumor we are going to discuss. So Phaeochromocytoma is seen in both the cases as second common. So first common is medullary cancer 100% in both. Phaeochromocytoma is the second common in both. And what are the other problems? It's a multiple endocrine neoplasia. There will be many other problems also. MEN2A may have Hirschsprung disease, and 20% of the time they also have hyperplasia. In MEN1, the hyperplasia is seen in 90% of the cases. Don't forget, in MEN1, 90% will have hyperplasia. In MEN2A, there will be 20% of them will have parathyroid hyperplasia. They can have cutaneous lichen amyloidosis and Hirschsprung disease. Hirschsprung disease may be associated with MEN2A Sippel syndrome. And MEN2B syndrome has 4 M's. Marfan features, marfanoid features. They can have megacolon. They can have megacolon, and they can have mucosal neuromas. In the mouth, they have neuromas appearing in the mouth, and motility problem in esophagus. Like nutcracker, all those things, motility disorder in esophagus. So 3M is seen in MEN2B, Marfan features, megacolon, mucosal neuromas, and motility disorder in esophagus, which is not seen. There is a common question which is not seen in MEN2B. Parathyroid is not affected in MEN2B. Don't forget, parathyroid not affected. This is a repeat MCQ which is asked in NEET PG. So which problem is not seen in MEN2B? Because MEN1 90% parathyroid affected. MEN2A it is around 20% affected. MEN2B parathyroid is not affected. So MEN2A develops primary hyperparathyroidism in 20% cases. It's a multiglandular disease. MEN2B never develops hyperparathyroidism. This point you should never forget. Medullary cancer is a hallmark. C-cell hyperplasia. Calcitonin secreting C-cells hyperplasia is a hallmark of any MEN syndrome. So familial medullary thyroid cancer is one type. MEN2A syndrome, MEN2B syndrome, MEN2A is Sippel's, MEN2B is MEN3, and familial medullary thyroid cancer. All of them have red oncogene mutation. The only difference is in the exon. So exon 618 is familial cancer syndrome, 634 is Sippel syndrome, 918 is MEN2B. So remember, MEN2B has 918 mutation. So exon 918 is MEN2B, 634 is MEN2A. So don't forget, medullary cancer has a very important point discussion in this topic. So medullary cancer in MEN syndrome, origin cells are from parafollicular C cells. It's a parafollicular C cell related tumor, and medullary cancer is usually sporadic in 75% of the patients. 25% of the cases it is hereditary. It's sporadic in 75% cases, and 25% will be hereditary. Hereditary cases are multifocal and bilateral. Please don't forget, medullary cancer happening in a hereditary will be seen in both the thyroid gland. In each thyroid gland, it will be more numbers. There will be more multifocal and bilateral, and lymph node involvement is possible. 75% time, lymph nodes are involved in medullary cancer. Don't forget, we are discussing medullary cancer, thyroid and thyroid chapter, but here remember it is 75% sporadic, 25% is hereditary. It is multifocal and bilateral in hereditary cases, and medullary thyroid cancers are very dangerous problems, and we have discussed enormous points about medullary cancer and thyroid cancer topic. Please remember, Phaeochromocytoma in MEN2 syndrome arises from adrenal medulla. arises from adrenal medulla enterochromaffin-like cells. It arises from chromaffin cells. Okay, therefore it is also called as chromaffinomas. So adrenal medulla, from the chromaffin cells it arises. So it's arising from the chromaffin type of cells. It arises phaeochromocytoma. It is benign always. Please remember, phaeochromocytoma being a dangerous disorder is usually benign in MEN2 syndrome and will be limited to adrenal only. There is no extra-adrenal, no malignancy seen in phaeochromocytoma associated in MEN2 syndrome. In MEN2 syndrome, phaeochromocytoma is 40% cases. MEN2 related cases will be bilateral and multifocal in the adrenal gland. See, MEN2 related thyroid cancer, medullary cancer is also bilateral, multifocal. Phaeochromocytoma is also multifocal, bilateral. And surgery advised recently is adrenalectomy or the involved side only and follow-up. See, just do the adrenalectomy of the involved side and do the follow-up. Don't need to go for bilateral adrenalectomy because this is a changed concept. So, old concept was to do bilateral adrenalectomy for a medullary cancer arising from MEN2 syndrome. That is now changed. Now they are advising only involved gland alone you do surgery. We can wait and do surgery for other side later. So MEN2 syndrome screening and prophylactic thyroidectomy is a repeated MCQ. First degree relative should be screened for red oncogene mutation. Anybody coming to you with the MEN syndrome, you should screen all the first degree relatives. And if there is a MEN2A present, you have to advise them to undergo surgery before 5 years. MEN2B patient, you should advise them to undergo surgery before 1 year. See, MEN2B is more serious patient. More serious case. I used to remember because MEN2A, the mutation is 618. It's a small number. So, it is less serious. 634 is MEN2A. It is less serious. This is 918. The bigger number will be MEN2B. Therefore, it is more serious. Therefore, advise surgery within 1 year. So, what is that surgery we do? We have to go for prophylactic thyroidectomy. For all the patients who are having MEN syndrome, especially MEN2 syndrome, you should advise them prophylactic thyroidectomy. For the children before 5 years in a MEN2A and before 1 year in a MEN2B. MEN2B is a more serious case. Please don't forget MEN2B. So, MEN1 Vermeer, MEN2A Sipple, MEN2B is MEN3. MEN4, there is another new update. MEN4, a syndrome has been updated which is due to CDKN1B mutation. Cyclin dependent kinase inhibitor gene on chromosome 12. They have parathyroid problem as usual. They have parathyroid problem. They have pituitary problem. So, the two problems same like MEN1. MEN1 like problems. Remember, parathyroid adenomas and pituitary adenomas. Here it is not hyperplasia, but MEN1 like, but adenomas here. So, adenoma means a lesion. Hyperplasia means entire gland enlarged. So, it's an hyperplasia in these cases in MEN1. Whereas in MEN4, it is adenomas in the parathyroid, adenomas in the pituitary. And very important point, they can affect the reproductive organs, testes and cervix, and also kidney, renal tumors. So, remember as 2P, 2R affected, 2P, 2R. So, 2P are pituitary and pancreas, pituitary and parathyroid, 2R is reproductive and renal. So, don't forget MEN4 syndrome. So, this MEN syndrome is an interesting topic. Please be thorough with this MEN syndrome. It will be helpful for you in pathology, medicine as well as in surgery. Okay, a high topic for your exams.